Hey guys, what's up? This is Brett. Welcome to this week's special episode of Friday on the Turntable. A couple weeks ago I did a feature on Depeche Mode's Music for the Masses, and there was many requests to do a ranking series, an album ranking from worst to best Depeche Mode records. So rather than me just give my spin on my favorites, I brought my friend Jesse, as you guys know, super turbo blur. So we're going to do a little bouncing back and forth. We're going to start at number 13 and work our way all the way up. But before we get to that, I'd just like to send a huge thank you out to Mr. David J. Haskins from the band Bauhaus, Lovin' Rockets, for reposting my Friday on the Turntable feature on Lovin' Rockets Express. Pretty cool when
Awesome.
someone from one of those bands that we grew up with watches your video and then shares it with his fans. So that was cool. So thank you very much for that. And a couple other things. I'll have a link down in the description box to my blog, which will have a physical layout of all my choices along with a playlist that I'm going to create in Spotify that you can go sample the songs. And if you're totally unfamiliar with Depeche Mode, that'll give you a quick primer on their expansive catalog, which ranges from 1981 all the way through the present with 2013, their new release, Delta Machine. So without further ado, we're going to get started here. So we're going to start at number 13 and work our way to our number one choice. So starting in at number 13 for me, Depeche Mode's 13th album, and it happens to be the one from this year. And I've gotten it digitally, so I have a makeshift cover for it. This is Delta Machine, their latest album. Hasn't really grabbed me very much. It's still a really good album, but ranking it in Depeche Mode's catalog, it is my least favorite at the moment. My three favorite tracks are Broken, which I think is really an excellent track, Heaven, and Alone. Jesse, what's your number 13?
I also chose Delta Machine.
You can hold it down, I think.
For my number 13. Again, maybe it'll grow on me the longer I have it, just like you. I mean, it's definitely favorite songs, Soothe My Soul, Should Be Higher, and Welcome to My World, the opening track, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even with a few other songs, but I'll stay with those three just for now, keep it short. Definitely.
Yeah, so Mr. Jesse here knew that we were going to be filming this video, and he went out and bought the vinyl version just so he'd have it, and I have the little makeshift cover here. Sneaky.
I was going to buy it anyway.
Sneaky.
Sooner or later.
Okay, coming in at number 12 for me, and this is where this is interesting, so you'll have to decide whose opinions you agree with more, mine or Jesse's. So in at number 12 for me was their 10th album from 2001. This is Exciter. It's kind of a more subdued album in Depeche Mode's catalog, a lot more mellow. Never totally hit me either. I mean, there's still some excellent tracks on here like Free Love, When the Body Speaks, I Feel Loved, but still not one of my favorites. There's a little pool scene there on the back cover. But that's number 12 for me. What's number 12 for you?
For me, I chose, actually, and this is the French cassette, Speak and Spell, favorite songs, Dreaming of Me, New Life, and Photographic.
Number 12?
Yeah, right after Delta Machine.
Oh.
It's a great album, it's just, that's where I threw it.
So what were your favorites again?
Dreaming of Me, New Life, and Photographic.
All right.
I think those are great songs.
Okay, all right, number 12, shocking. Okay, coming in at number 11 for me was their third album. And this is the first one that featured Alan Wilder, right? Alan Wilder. A lot of samples. It almost has a slight industrial kind of sounds to it. And yeah, so it's Construction Time again, their third album from 1983. My three favorite tracks on this one are Everything Counts, 2 Minute Warning, and Love in Itself. And what's funny about 2 Minute Warning is the vocals, the way he delivers the verse really reminds me of Richard Butler from Psychedelic Furs. So that's number 11, Construction Time again. What's your number 11?
My number 11 is actually the same. Construction Time again. I loved this album. Yeah, it did have an industrial sound, like kind of like banging on like metal pipes and stuff. I actually chose the songs off of this. Shame, Everything Counts, and Love in Itself.
Yeah. Now what's funny is, these albums that are down lower, they're still
great.
Really great albums. It's just, when you have to put them up against some of the other higher ones, naturally things have to fall into place. So, okay, in at number 10. This right here is from 1982. It's their second album, and it was a departure from their first one because the original member who wrote all the songs on Speak and Spell, Vince Clarke, had left the band, so Martin Gore took up songwriting, exclusive songwriting duties, and they recorded A Broken Frame. Stellar artwork on this one. I really love this album, and my three favorite tracks on this one are The Sun and the Rainfall, which is the closing track. Excellent. Monument. What do you think of when you think of Monument?
Bart.
My brother Bart. That's his favorite Depeche Mode song, is Monument. And See You, which is featured here in the background. I love that. It's just a nice little pop song. And the beginning of Depeche Mode's so-called dark phase, which I don't think ever ended. So that is number 10, and it really did hint to what was to come from Depeche Mode.
It's true.
Number 10. What was your number 10?
I actually chose Some Great Reward, and this is the Yugoslavian cassette.
Yugoslavian cassette.
Made in Yugoslavia. It's hilarious. I love that label. I thought you'd appreciate this, and that's why I brought the cassette.
Crazy.
Yugoslavia.
On mute, too.
It's bizarre. Cassette.
That's number 10?
10.
Okay.
Well, it could have been up higher, but...
All right, well, no,
that's where I put it.
That's what we're doing here. We're working it out.
Something to Do, Lie to Me, and Somebody.
Is there something to do? Is there something to do? Is there something to do? Okay.
Great song.
All right, in at number 9, from 2009, their 12th album. This is Sounds of the Universe, and probably the worst album cover in Depeche Mode's catalog. It's some sort of like pickup sticks with a circle. I don't know. And the logo is just kind of obtuse. Sounds of the Universe. It's actually, it has a similar feel to 2004's Playing the Angel. It has a similar vibe to that one, even though I think they're separated by about 5 years. But I think this is a really an excellent album. And my three favorite tracks in this one are Fragile Tension, Wrong, and Perfect, but also Peace. Another great, almost like a gospel tinged song. So that's number 9 for me, Sounds of the Universe.
For number 9, I chose... We're almost kind of reversed from each other. Almost. I chose A Broken Frame. This album is... Actually, it is really, really great, and it could have been higher up, but I put it at number 9. Favorite songs are Leaving Silence, See You, and My Secret Garden.
My Secret Garden.
I love that song.
Yeah, it is excellent. It is. I had a hard time not putting that one on my list.
Yeah, Leaving Silence, they're definitely amazing song.
All right, so that was your number 9,
That's
right?
my number 9.
All right, number 8, Depeche Mode's 1981 debut album, Speak and Spell. I really love the first Depeche Mode album. Like I said before, Vince Clarke later went on to do Yazoo, and Erasure, and he was the chief songwriter on this one. And the UK version differs. There's a track that's not on There's a track that's on the American version that's not on the UK version. So I'm just going with the one I always knew, which was the US version. So my three favorite tracks are New Life, Dreaming of Me, and Just Can't Get Enough. And perhaps the most embarrassing Depeche Mode song, What's Your Name? What do you think?
There's some other ones in there that they're right up there with it.
But still, excellent debut album. Quite different from where they're at now in 2013. It's always nice to see the beginning and the present and compare the two. It's drastic. So that was number 8 for me, Speak and Spell.
My number 8 is Ultra. I chose Ultra. I actually, when this album came out, I loved it right away. The first couple singles, even the way they announced, like the second single, It's No Good, was funny with the radio announcer. But anyways, I chose off of this album Sister of Night, Home, and Useless. I could have chose It's No Good because that is a really great song.
Well, number 7 for me is going to be Ultra. Now, I remember I didn't have this immediately when it came out, and I was on a road trip in Southern California, and I happened to be in a car that only had a cassette player. So I remember being in Carlsbad, California at Spin Records, and I bought Ultra on cassette, so that's what I listened to on that trip. And it is the first album without Alan Wilder after he quit after Songs of Faith and Devotion, and so their first album as a trio, I guess, since A Broken Frame. So my three favorites on this one: It's No Good, which has kind of become a goth club staple. You hear it all the time. Useless, and Sister of Night. So that's number 7 for me, Ultra.
For me, number 7, I chose Exciter.
That was my number 12.
Yeah, but the thing is, we were talking, I got this album, and I didn't like it at all. I liked one song, and then I saw them, and 2 days later I drove out to Anaheim and saw them again, and I was sold. This actually became kind of a favorite album for a very long time. My favorite songs are Shine, Free Love, I Am You, and When the Body Speaks. So
all right.
Chose 4 off of that.
All right, so that was your number 7, Exciter. Number 6 for me is, I think, a real hidden gem in Depeche Mode's catalog. This is from 2005. This is Playing the Angel. I know I briefly discussed this earlier. I think this is just such a great record. I love the production. When that first track kicks in, Pain That I'm Used To, it's got these really just jarring sounds that start the album. So excellent. And it's the first Depeche Mode album to actually feature Dave Gahan on songwriting credits, and he co-wrote some of the songs. And my 3 favorite tracks: Precious, which is seriously, to me, is one of the hidden best Depeche Mode songs in their entire catalog. Precious is just so incredible. Suffer Well, and Nothing's Impossible. That's number 6, Playing the Angel.
For number 6, I actually chose It's Bad Boy.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Sounds of the Universe. Well, I actually loved this album.
Enough to buy that.
Enough to buy this. Mainly because it didn't have that horrible cover.
What does it look like on the?
If you take the band off, it's
so,
but it's silver. It's not
so
nearly
it's
as bad as the colors like Pixie Sticks or Pickup Six. I really didn't care for the cover. I think the cover actually kind of distracted from how great the album is.
So that just has a bunch of bonus stuff.
This has a ton of good stuff in there. My favorite songs are Fragile Tension, Wrong, and Come Back.
Yeah. That's I think, a really excellent album. Yeah. So that was your number 6, correct?
That was my number 6.
All right, number 5. We're in the top 5 right now. Here's where it starts to get really interesting. So number 5, this was Depeche Mode's 4th album. This is Some Great Reward. Excellent Depeche Mode. 3 favorite tracks on this one. Somebody, which is sung by Martin Gore. Beautiful, beautiful ballad. Blasphemous Rumors, just great, and People Are People. That's my number 5. Some Great Reward. What's that?
So I left mine in the car.
Okay.
I left mine in the car, but for number 5, I chose Playing the Angel. This actually was a really good show and a really good album live. Lillian, Suffer Well, Nothing's Impossible.
Excellent.
Those are pretty unbeatable songs.
Yeah.
So definitely, that's where I would rank Playing the Angel number 5.
All right, here we go. This perhaps may cause some controversy as to what my number 4 choice is. And I pulled this one out in the cassette format. All right, you guys ready? Number 4, Violator. I mean, this is high school right here. I think it's senior year of high school. 1990, this was their 7th album. Violator, I mean, from the artwork, it's an excellent album. And my 3 favorite tracks was played on MTV every day I'd come home from school. Enjoy the Silence, Policy of Truth, those 2, and then Halo is my 3rd favorite on that one. So, yeah. Number 4, Violator. Number 4.
For me, I actually chose Music for the Masses.
Okay.
This is a really great record. It does remind me of, high school days, The things she said, Sacred and Strange Love, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing Strange Love. And almost sometimes now you still can't. Great song, great album.
Yeah. All right, and that was your number 4,
That
correct?
was my number 4.
All right, my number 3, Music for the Masses. So like I said, a couple weeks ago I did a Friday on the Turntable feature of this album exclusively, so you can check that one out further down on my page, or perhaps I will remember to put a link down in the description box. I don't know what else more I can say about this album. It was probably my first exposure to Depeche Mode. This was their 6th album from 1987. It took them out of the stratosphere with their popularity, where they were just playing, huge venues, and they just blew up, and even got even bigger with Violator after that.
Yeah.
So 3 favorite tracks, the 3 opening tracks. I know I compared this to the Joshua Tree in my video, like Where the Streets Have No Name, Stolen Found, I'm Looking for With or Without You. You got Never Let Me Down Again, The Things You Said, and Strange Love. Just a 3 trio power punch opening album. That's my number 3, Music for the Masses. Number 3.
Number 3. For me, I chose Black Celebration. This album, definitely, the tracks that caught my attention the very first time I heard it were But Not Tonight, New Dress, and obviously Stripped. So I chose those as my top 3 songs. So definitely, I got this on cassette before Violator came out, so I kind of keep those 2 in association with each other of that time period, so definitely.
Nice. That was your number 3.
That was my number 3.
All right, my number 2 is Black Celebration. 1986. This was their 5th album, and why is this edge out Music for the Masses or Violator? Perhaps you're wondering that. I think from beginning to the end, this album, just the flow of it, it's from beginning to end. I guess this has kind of almost been my go-to Depeche Mode album over the last couple of years. And it's Martin Gore sings lead on 4 songs, and my 3 favorite tracks: Stripped, Black Celebration, the title track, and Here's the House. That's just such a
I do love that song.
That's such a great little song. And then on the American version, we had a track called "But Not Tonight," which was a UK single, correct? But it's on the US version, so that's the version that I know. And "But Not Tonight," seriously, great track, great track. But I mean, there's so many great songs on this one. Fly in the Windscreen, Sometimes a Question of Lust, Dressed in Black, New Dress, Black Celebration. That's my number 2, guys.
That actually deserves to be right up there.
Yeah.
For my number 2, I went with Violator. Again, time frames. It definitely takes you back. It's a very sentimental album. This album is great as far as tracks. I chose Blue Dress, Halo, and Waiting for the Night.
Interesting. Didn't go with one of the singles.
Although World in My Eyes was my favorite single.
Interesting. Really.
Had 2 amazing B-sides.
I think it's hard to top Enjoy the Silence or Policy of Truth on that album. I think those are just, from singles perspective, are just so phenomenal.
It's hard. It was hard for me to choose because you could almost go with every song off of the album.
Yeah, a little too short. I think one song too short that album was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think we've
songs.
talked about that before. Okay, so those of you guys familiar with Depeche Mode now, who've been ticking off all the albums, I'm sure you probably know that both Jesse and I have the same number 1 choice, and that is their 8th album from 1993, Songs of Faith and Devotion. This, to me, is the absolute best Depeche Mode album, and I'm going to tell you why, in my opinion, and then I'll let Jesse chime in on that. This album kind of ended an era of Depeche Mode. The creation of this album was so super difficult. The album is dark. It is mature. The production, I think, it blows away any other Depeche Mode release. I love the sound of it. Everything about it from beginning to end. I think it has some of Dave's best vocal performances, like in Condemnation, I think is just outstanding. It has a very spiritual, it's a personal struggle. It's the struggle of 4 guys trying to continue to do what they do. It's a struggle with addiction. It's a struggle with life and everything. And from the darkness of the cover and just kind of the fading of them, everything about it, artwork was perfect. This is when I saw Depeche Mode on this tour, which I know I've talked about in the past, probably in my last Friday on the Turntable. But phenomenal. This is my number 1 choice, my 3 favorite songs. And probably, to me, an underrated song in Depeche Mode's catalog, which is one of my absolute favorite songs, is In Your Room. Absolutely incredible. Number 2, Rush, which I think is just killer. And then Walking in My Shoes. And the video, which was done by Anton Corbijn, who worked with, who did the photography for a lot of Depeche Mode, U2, directed the Joy Division Atmosphere video, actually directed the Joy Division movie Control.
And nice.
And
devotional.
Oh, and the devotional tour.
Yeah. Amazing.
And so Walking in My Shoes, and I'll never forget seeing them live, and then like in the video with those masks, with those beak, where they were kind of walking across the stage. It was just killer. That's my number 1. I know it's his number 1 also. So you want to just say why that's your favorite Depeche Mode album?
This album was so, I think, confusing for some Depeche Mode fans, but for me, it actually just felt natural.
Yeah.
They definitely hit a peak where they matured, and they were going through so many struggles that would tear apart most bands, but they did it. And I'd have to say we have the exact same songs too.
Are you serious?
In Your Room, Walking in My Shoes, and Rush.
Oh, wow.
I think it's probably the best show I've been to, and including the devotional video that Anton Corbijn directed is probably the only concert DVD I can just get out and watch on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Definitely. The images, the screens, shots, everything about it. The way the show even starts with them behind that huge curtain. Yeah.
It's it's fun. You know, I'm going through all these thoughts about this time period, and when I think of songs of faith and devotion, it was never. This wasn't one that we had to struggle with figuring out what's your number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me has always been Songs of Faith and Devotion, obviously since it's come out. I think it was like, and most people gravitate towards Violator, Music for the Masses, which are great albums, but this, as you can see, Jesse and I agree on completely, Songs of Faith and Devotion. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to what you guys thought, who you kind of agreed with more, myself or Jesse, because we had some pretty conflicting viewpoints on some of our other rankings. Yeah, so I'll have links down in the description box if you want to check it out. On my blog, I'll have a physical with the songs listed. I'll have the ranking, Spotify playlist, and links to where you can actually buy the albums. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down there so you can keep up with my future videos. So take care, guys.